Hello, and welcome to this installment of our virtual conference series with a focus on freight, transportation, and logistics. I'm Greg Pendy, a member of the SPAC and Disruptive Technology Equity Research Team at Chardan Capital Markets. As always, I'll start with an interesting note with some important disclosures. During this call, we will not be discussing Chardan research. Any discussions about research should be coordinated between a participant and their respective salesperson. Our compliance team has asked me to read the statement for the investor call. By participating in this call, our speakers attest that they have made Chardan aware of any potential conflicts, and they will not discuss any material, non-public, or confidential information that they are aware of that may breach their legal, regulatory, fiduciary responsibility to any parties. So with that out of the way, it's my pleasure to introduce Carmit Glik, the CEO of SHIP4WD. Carmen?
Hi, good to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Well, thank you for joining us. We're very interested to jump into and learn more about your company. So let's just start off with some big picture questions, and then we can delve into some more detailed events pressing the industry and go over your company more in some more specific detail. But just from a big picture perspective, focusing on your platform and your company, can you describe how global shipping can become easier and more transparent for your target audience of small and medium-sized businesses? And then just how you plan on how you're disrupting that particular segment of the market.
Sure, we'll be happy to. I think technology have a very, very strong abilities to enable or interrupt or create transition to societies or to, I would say, um, segment of customers that did not have the ability to reach out to certain element of global trade till today. I mean, of course, every small business that require transportation, that deal with physical product or manufacturing, has certain partners to handle their freight, to handle their business. But I do believe that small businesses, unfortunately, till today have been underserved and in many cases also overpaid because they don't have access to volumes and they don't have access to um, major player in the global trade and freight industry. And by technology, we are able to reach out absolutely to everyone. If a small business has few shipments or many shipments, for us, it's the same in a sense of that they are getting the same type of services online. They give access to the same tools that we provide online. And by that, you kind of democratize the industry. And technology has a big part of it. And I think I'm just, trying to find an example looking around and you see my mobile or you don't see it, but if we look at smartphones today, everybody have access to smartphones. If we look maybe 10 15 years back, and CEO would have Blackberries, and student will have Nokia, whatever model it was. There was a gap in the access of tools that they would have, and today they don't. There is no, let's say, barriers. Any student can access the same smart tools, the same information that much, let's say, more wealthy human being can. So I think this is what I believe technology as a role in our society, if been used well and right.
Great. Well, that's very helpful. Then, just as you look at the global landscape, what do you identify as some of the global megatrends that will shape your industry over the next few years? And then, just further expanding on that, how have you positioned SHIP4WD to prosper in that environment?
I have to say that maybe we forgot, but if we look just 2 years ago, COVID has a significant impact, I think, on the way our industry have been perceived, but also on the access of innovation and technology into our industry. So if I look just 5 years back, um, as an industry that will struggle to return stakeholder value, I would say, to an industry that became quite wealthy um, during COVID and after. And I think that is significant impact to innovation and technology coming in to our industry in a very, very strong force. And also under COVID, we were kind of forced to use digital tool. We were forced to be open to it. There was not option not to. And I think that mindset that might have changed over 10 years or who knows how long, have kind of immediately changed. And I think that impact is significant. What I see on trends, there is, I would always say something, and maybe it's no one will agree with me, but I do not think there is a technology issue. I think that existing technologies these days can solve quite a lot of issues in our industry. It's only about the usage, it's only about to be open to it and to take down barriers of entry of technology into the industry. But if we are looking more specific on technologies that I think will be impacting, I think AI will significantly impact our industry because we have so much data in our industry in various domains on pricing, on operation, on milestones, on almost everything we touch during a lifetime of shipment has so much data collected and the ability to really work with it and use AI tools to optimize it and improve. I think that will definitely will change our industry. But there are also many other technologies that exist for many, many years that the usage of them will impact our industry. If we look at smart containers, which I think technology exists for more than 10 years, but never used. But we can see significant carriers are now announced, or not now, in the last few months, announced that they are going to transform all their container fleet into smart containers. This is something that we have not heard before. So I do believe that we are looking at an industry that will transform to be more transparent, more accessible to everybody in the business community and the small businesses as well. And we will take the lead as She Forward to be one of those players that will push the barriers.
Right, that's very helpful. Can you just go over and describe to us the industry's competitive landscape?
Well, the industry competitive landscape is very diverse, very decentralized. Because if we look at the very, very large logistics players, um, I think it varies from territory to territory, but in general, they hold 10% of the market, more or less. So I think 90% of the market is being completely diverse to so many players from, mom and pops, freight forwarder or logistics provider or company with one truck or two to a very large corporate that we all know about. So it's definitely, I think, a market that is not optimized, that is ought to optimize, and we probably will see this optimization coming into in the next 5 years. I do believe that there is a very logic to to consolidate the market and to provide a better service.
Right, that's helpful. And then just one more on the big picture front. You mentioned smart containers and maybe a lack of adoption so far. So can you just kind of go over, what are some of the near-term obstacles and opportunities in the sector that you see, and kind of where is adoption in terms of some of the new technologies that are out there?
So I believe it's all about motivation, right? And how do the large, I would say, organization in our domain motivated to integrate technology? And I believe motivation coming from the demand side, and how first of all the demand side is pushing for that technology service or better interaction with the suppliers. So, and I see it happening today, and smart containers is one example that for many, many years, many players, many companies require to understand where are their containers, where are their cargo, is it arriving, is it not arriving, when it's arrived, if there is a delay, to know in advance that there is a delay so they can prepare better the manufacturing, that they can be able to mitigate issues. And it didn't happen really. There was a lot of layers of people monitoring, tracking, and so on and so forth. It's not really scalable. So I do believe that I think the concept of what we are seeing in our B2C life, as individual, which we order and we expect our orders to come within a day, and we don't really experience that in our B2B life, in our business life, this gap, it will get smaller and smaller. And I think that's the biggest motivation, that also, if businesses used to run by, previous generation, the new generation coming in, and they have less patience and less, adherence to the old way and the way it's been handled till now. And I think that, I would say, change of, let's say, generation, and also what we are experiencing in our day-to-day life, will eventually also force the players to change as well.
Great, that's helpful. Now let's dig into some company specific questions on your platform. Can you just go over maybe in more granularity the technology and how your solution, which is targeting small and medium businesses, is unique relative to the current status quo out there in terms of how you support bookings, quotes,
So
etc.?
yeah, I think what's special with SHIP4WD is that we make a deliberate choice. And when you make a deliberate choice, you need to cut all the rest. That means that when we make a deliberate choice to create a solution, to create a home of logistic services to small and medium-sized businesses, that was a deliberate choice that created a solution specially for them. And where are the rest of companies looking at everybody and we can serve everybody, we know it's not happening, because in essence you cannot serve everybody. You really need to understand who you're serving. So we went really deep into the needs of small businesses, and it's coming to very simple. Actually, when you look at small businesses and you look on his day to day and his interaction, and understand that they are very lean, that they don't have logistics specialist expert working for them most of the times, and that they're not knowing the domain. They don't know the language. So it started very simple in how do we take this complex, massive industry and simplify it for every small business to be able to log in, register, and use our platform the same as he used his online tool outside of the work. So if he's going to Amazon, or if he's going to Uber, or whatever it is. So that logic is inherited in the product from day one. And I think that that's very, very important, because when you take a complex product that fits to corporates or fits to very large companies, and try and kind of simplifying it, or try and kind of open it for everyone to use, it doesn't really happen in the end. So our focus is how we use technology to simplify the product so everybody can use SHIP4WD and can get the value they need to fulfill their logistics need for their business, and for them to focus on their customer. One, for example, but it's not only technology. If we look at the day-to-day small business and the hassle they need to go through, and it's not easy. It's not easy to be an owner of a small business. So we decided that we provide customer service of 24/7, because we understand they work on Saturday, we understand they work at night, we understand that sometimes at holiday they need an answer. So we make sure that we provide a human um, service, not a bot that will get back to you, I don't know when, but an immediately human support that can help you going through your situation, question, or anything you need, even if it will be on Christmas night. So I think the whole concept of Shift Forward is really to create that support structure for small businesses to enable them with global trade. And it doesn't start and end with platform and technology and product. It also is a holistic overview of services and other type of supports.
Great, that's very helpful. And then just in terms of ocean container allocation, I believe your platform is able to guarantee this option versus other freight forwarders. How important is that, and kind of how are you able to do that to separate yourself?
Yeah, I think this is another point which is critical, because what we have seen and what our customer experience is that, when there is space, there is no issue. I mean, when there is space, then everybody get their booking, and everything is fine. But our industry really goes ups and downs quite significantly. And what happens is, in let's say, period of time, especially in the COVID, but also in today world, when we're seeing all the geopolitical issues around the world, there is a situation that the space is lacking, the availability of equipment is lacking in also some of the areas. And what we have a very strong back of partners and investors that have the assets. So we actually can provide that assets. So it's not just, saying it for nothing. We actually stand by it. And when we provide information over our um, platform, we stand behind the service that we are providing. And it's not always easy, but that's what our promise to give. And I think what's important as well is to understand that it's, again, in our industry, in our domain, it's not just the technology. It's not just a nice interface, easy to use, UX, UI, so on and so forth. Is really the ability of providing actual service on the ground, actual pickups, actual seamless operation. That is something that is a struggle for every player in our industry. But that's what we are also dealing with, and we are able to do it because we have a strong partnership behind us.
Great. And then can you just help us understand how important the network effect is in terms of, adding new customers and then gaining access to the freight carriers in your network? So how important is it to continually add and how does that kind of all evolve, all play together, I guess?
It's critical. I mean, to be able to provide services on a global scale, on a global level, you need to have a significant network behind you. Nobody can be good at anywhere and every place. Even if we look at the strongest logistics player, they are, in essence, also based on networks, not only their own, but outside network. If we're looking at one signal shipment from destination to, sorry, from origin to destination, door to door, we're looking at minimum of at least eight suppliers or different companies that involve in that shipment life. So having a network is essential in our business.
Right. And then can you go into, it seems like a lot of companies have pointed to security and the importance that is to a customer. So can you just kind of go over, from when you're moving sensitive shipments, how do you gain trust from customers?
That's a very good question, because trust and is a major, I would say, item for customer to choose a logistics provider. First, your business is depend on it, your livelihood, your income. It's the bloodstream of your business. So we take it extremely seriously. And I think that's one of the reasons that we have, make sure that we have licensing in all the company in all the countries that we are working, if it's US or Canada, with FMC regulation, licensing as NVOCC. the ability to be an agent for IATA, and make sure that we are complying to any of the registration that our industry is part with. And it's very important when customers choose logistics supplier to make sure that they have that, to make sure that they are compliant, and that they are FMC registered and they have a IATA agency and so on and so forth, because those type of organization make sure that you are compliant to what is needed and you are, let's say, a provider that one can trust. So this is something that I think is very important to understand, that not all logistics providers are having those type of licensing and they are compliant to those elements.
And I know you touched on AI earlier. It's on everybody's minds these days. Where is the most impactful, I guess, early stages where AI is kind of moving into your space, and where are you implementing it right now?
I think it's almost everywhere. I really think it's in almost every function. If we are looking from marketing uh, to even KYC, knowing your customer, understanding the legitimacy of their business, to pricing, the ability to provide advanced pricing that you can guarantee and stand behind, that require a lot of data that comes in, and the ability to digest it, and use it in a certain way. It's go through the operation, of course, and the ability to track milestone data again, and use it. And I really think that there is no single function, at least in our organization, that is not using AI in this way or other. I think the impact of it is significant. And I think, at least for my team and managers, I always push to use it, even when you write email. And it's not for the that I believe that the outcome will be better for this specific case. But I think if we are all use it in our day to day, then we will be savvy in it. And if you don't use it, then it's kind of maybe scary or intimidating. But if you use it in every element, then it's becoming your second nature, also in the way you're thinking for your profession, for your business, and your work related action, because it can help in almost everything we do. And I think the more we use it, the more we understand where it can fit better. But again, I think for me, AI is a technology. There are so many technologies that we are using. I think the importance of it is how do you combine those technologies to solve issues? How do you look at a problem and you're saying, okay, how would I solve it? With which combination? And I think that's the important thing. It's not only a standalone AI that can solve all our problems. It's really a combination of AI with other technologies that can enhance the solution and improve the solution for our customers.
Great. And then just one final question, just on M&A or strategic alliances, how do you think about it in your space? Like if you were to ideally go after, merge with a company, what are the things you look for?
I would probably look for a synergy of services that are not the same as us, but can provide additional support to our customers. So in the supply chain, there are so many additional services that are kind of creating a whole solution for customers. And on the services, you can find customs, you can find consolidators, you can find distribution, you can find so many services that really combine. So it needs to be a synergy, and also a digital mindset. And I think that's very, very important. digital by nature is very different than traditional companies. While people say you do the same services or you might provide the same services, it's not such. Um, for me to provide digital experience to customer, I need my network to be able to enable me to be digital. So that's part is, I think, the challenge with today players.
Great. Well, that's really helpful. And Carmit, I want to thank you for sharing your story. It's very exciting to learn more about Ship Forward.
Thanks a lot, Greg.
Thank you.